Param vijayate Sri Kṛṣṇa Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. My name is Sitapati Das.
And my name is Danna Devi.
And this is Bhagavad-gita, as it is, by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Chapter 6, text number 18. Okay, let's go to here. All right.
I like when you say, right.
Yadā viniyataṁ cittam ātmany evāvatiṣṭhate nispṛhaḥ sarva-kāmebhyo yukta ucyate tadā. I'm looking at it through my eyebrows. Eyelashes. Yadā.
When
Viniyatam.
particularly this discipline,
cittam.
the mind and its activities,
ātmany.
in the transcendence,
ātmani.
in the transcendence, certainly,
avatiṣṭhate.
become situated,
nispṛhaḥ.
devoid of
sarva.
all kinds of
kāmebhyaḥ.
material desires,
yuktaḥ.
well situated in yoga,
iti.
thus
ucyate.
is said to be
tadā.
at that time.
All right, you want to do a translation, Purport?
Sure. When the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, he is said to have attained yoga.
Ucyate. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
The activities of the yogi are distinguished from those of an ordinary person by his characteristics: cessation from all kinds of material desires, of which sex is the chief. A perfect yogi is so well disciplined in the activities of the mind that he can no longer be disturbed by any kind of material desire. This perfectional stage can automatically be attained by persons in Krishna consciousness, as is stated in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 9.4.18 to 20. Okay, today.
Savaimana Krishna Padaravindayor Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunana Karau Harir Mandira Marjanadishu Shrutim Chakarachyuta Satkatodyate Makunda Lingalaya Darshane Drishau Tadbrityagatra Sparshinga Sangamam. Can you look up this?
Sure.
Granam Chatadpada Saruja Saurab. No. Granam Chatadpada Saroja Saurabe Śrīmad-Tulasya Rasanam Tararpite Padau Hare Kshetra Padanusarpane Shiro Rishikesha Padabhivandane Kamam Chadasyena tu kama kamyaya Yadotama Shloka Janashrayarati Savaimana Krishna Padaravindayor Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunana Varnane Karo Harir Mandira Marjane Nadishu Shrutim. Cleaning the temple. Shrutim hearing. Chakarachyuta Satkatodaye, the pastimes of Achyuta, speaking about them. Mukunda Linga Laya Darshane, this is seeing. Drishal, sight. Tadbrit Yagatra Sparshe, touch. Anga Sangamam. Granam means tasting. Smelling. No. Granam is smelling. Tat pada saroja saurabe. Pada means feet. Śrīmad-Tulasya rasanam, tasting the tulasi. Tad arpite, that's offered. Padau hare kshetra padanu sarpane, going to the Padau Shiro Hrishikesha touching his head and walking somewhere. Kamam chadasye natu kama kamyaya yata uttama shloka janashrayarati. King Ambarish first of all engaged his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Mana, mind, Kṛṣṇa, padara, lotus feet. Padara vindayor. Vachamsi, speaking. Then one after another he engaged his words in describing the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Vaikunta, guna, transcendental qualities, guna na varnane. His hands in mopping the temple of the Lord. So mandira margina, this cleaning. So karao harir. Karao must mean his hands. His ears in hearing the activities of the Lord. Shrutam, ears. Chakra sat katodaye, kata, sat kata. His eyes in seeing the transcendental forms of the Lord. Makunda, linga, laya, darshane, drishao. Yep. Drishao, seeing, darshane, the sight. His body in touching the bodies of the devotees. Tad brit yagatra sparshe anga sangamam. Sparsha means touch. His sense of smell and smelling the scents of the lotus flower offered to the Lord. Granam. Chatat pada saroja saurave. His tongue in tasting the tulasi leaf offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. His legs, padal, in going to places of pilgrimage and the temple of the Lord. Paranusarpane. And his head in offering obeisances. Shira Hrishikesha Padabhivandane. Vandane, like prayers. Offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires, kamam chadasye, in executing the mission of the Lord, natu kama kamyaya. All these transcendental activities are quite befitting a pure devotee. Yata uttama shloka janashrayarati. This transcendental path may be inexpressible subjectively by the followers of the impersonalist path. It becomes very easy and practical for a person in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, as is apparent in the above description of the engagements of Maharaj Ambarisha. Unless the mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord by constant remembrance, such transcendental engagements are not practical in the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, these prescribed activities are called archana, or engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord. The senses and the mind require engagements. Simple abnegation is not practical. Abnegation. You familiar with that word?
Abnegation is like negating. Abnegation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
En español?
Abnegar.
See?
Therefore, for people in general, especially those who are not in the renounced order of life, transcendental engagement of the senses and the mind, as described above, is the perfect process for transcendental achievement, which is called yukta in the Bhagavad-gita. Yukta.
Yukta.
Mhm.
Om Jnanatimandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Srila Prabhupada would say that this is the description of someone who is a true gentleman.
Kṛṣṇa.
No, this Maharaj Ambarish. Because I looked it up to see what Prabhupada said about
Gentleman.
Yeah.
How to be a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And he said a lot of different things.
Really?
Yeah, because there's not just one thing. It's not like do this one thing and you'll be a gentleman. It's a whole bunch of things.
It's the whole character of a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you go and do a study of what Srila Prabhupada said, it boils down to this.
Mhm.
Maharaj Ambarish. Cessation of material desires. Okay, should we have a look at the...
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Transcendence decapitalized. Remember you asked about Bhagavan being lowercase?
That was in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
Mm-hmm.
What number? 21, 22? Or 23, I think.
Yep.
It's talking of Lord Vishnu, but Bhagavan is in lowercase, like, oh.
It was changed from have attained, is said to have attained yoga to be said to be well established in yoga. Okay. Pardon me. Looks like hyphenation.
Gunavana Varnane.
Yeah, it's gone from Gunana Varnane to Gunanu Varnane. Pratigatra, the lotus flowers. Comma inserted. Minimal changes there.
Mm.
The kind of changes that,
Okay.
It's funny because I was looking to see why have I kind of like lost, we've lost the flow of the Gita. Like the last class was your class on this day last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at it. And one of the things is that there's no access now to Srila Prabhupada's
Manuscript.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In chapter 6, it's an already edited manuscript. But what's also interesting is this, that the amount and the type of the editing that's being done is now much less. Like it was being heavily edited when there was access to Srila Prabhupada's original manuscript. And some of that was taking it closer to the manuscript in quotes, but some of it was not. But there seems to be less of the overriding Prabhupada's manuscript taking place in this chapter.
Yeah.
Like there was more of taking it closer to Prabhupada's manuscript in the earlier chapters, but there was also more of overriding Prabhupada's manuscript. Now that it's not Prabhupada's manuscript anymore, there's not so much overriding Prabhupada's manuscript. Isn't that interesting?
They lost it. The transcript of Srila Prabhupada.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Brackets. They
But
lost
but
it.
but can you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Like when it was his original manuscript, they just did whatever they want. But here we cannot compare what is the original one because it was already typed. But the thing here is, isn't there all of this transcript out of the what do you call this one?
Dictation?
Dictation?
No. This particular manuscript for 6. Where is it? Oh, where is the manuscript? I haven't got it open.
Oopsies.
The manuscript for 6, which is BBT edit. bbtedit.com. See the changes. Pretty sure it's on this website, right? Maybe here. These are the changes. So maybe it's on bookchanges.com. I think it's on here. If I go, I just searched on here. I copy that and then paste it in here. Search. Where are they? Okay, bookmarks. Bhagavad-gita class. Here. Yeah, it's on bookchanges.com.
Será la portada.
So yeah, it's an edited, it's a typed manuscript. It's not a typing of Srila Prabhupada's. It's not a typing of manuscript of Srila Prabhupada's thing. It's either the original manuscript, then they edited it, and then they lost it. You know. Bhagavad-gita manuscript. Here we go.
They lost it. Yeah. They give it in those in the hands of a child, probably. They didn't know what they were doing to lose it. That is just the most stupid excuse, like we lost it. Like, how can you lose something like so precious?
This is a composite of 3 of them, I think. Yeah. Okay, but let's go back to the.
Thanks.
Sorry. Yeah. When the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all kinds of material desires, well situated in yoga. So Srila Prabhupada's purport is, the activities of the yogi are distinguished from those of an ordinary person by his characteristic cessation from all kinds of material desires, of which sex is the chief. It's kind of funny because there's this idea that the yogi, there's kind of 2 things side by side here. One is that, Arjuna's on the battlefield. Cessation from all kinds of material desire is one thing, but Arjuna's cessation from material desire on the battlefield doesn't mean that he doesn't fight. Right?
Yeah.
He does fight.
Yeah.
So the idea that's presented there is that being a yogi doesn't mean, becoming renounced and going into the forest and, right? There's a way of being a yogi which is engaging in your activities. But then at the same time, in Srila Prabhupada's purports, there's this idea that, like, sex is this thing that is treated as if you're going to the forest.
That is true, though. Sex is the chief. If you see a lot of details of art and architecture, there's a lot of feminine stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that's similar to that is like meat eating. Like controlling the tongue.
Yeah.
But then even further, only eating food that's offered to Kṛṣṇa. But you eat anything that's offered to Kṛṣṇa. But then you don't offer to Kṛṣṇa some certain things. It's kind of like, yeah.
Well, it's kind of wild. You say you should be okay?
No. I'm just saying that the idea that, well, you don't eat meat because you control your tongue, but it's like, actually, I mean, there's different levels to it, right? Like Srila Prabhupada would say to some people that, why you want to kill the animals. You know, like, let's have a look at this, right? This is what I Googled up. How do I get Veda base here? Veda base. There we go. This is what I was looking for to answer your question. I wanted to see what Srila Prabhupada had to say about it.
Gentle, suave, calmado, man, como que calmado.
If he commits some mistake, he admits, yes, he's a gentleman. Dhira means gentleman. Brahmana means perfect gentleman. Here, this is the one here. A Brahmana is a perfect gentleman who feels for others, that is gentleman. Who does not feel for others for his sense gratification, he is a rogue. A Brahmana should animal killing, that is gentleman. If you are killed, you cry, and you are hundreds and thousands of animals you are killing on the plea that they have no soul. Lowest class, Naradama. They have been described as Naradama. So Naradama civilization, how he can be happy? There must be frustration. So, you know, interesting here that Srila Prabhupada says that for sense gratification, killing the animals, right?
Yeah.
But that's only one level, because the next level is that it's not for sense gratification that we don't.
And that.
Hmm?
One is Kṛṣṇa doesn't like his own children to be slaughtered for him. You know, because animals also are his children.
But there's the whole thing of the Bhagavad-gita, right? Like, you're not the body. The soul is not slain when the body is slain.
I know, but as an intelligent person, you should know better that these living entities, they are going through the process of what do you call this one?
Transmigration.
Transmigration.
Mm-hmm.
To the point they will come to be a human being, and then they can use their brain to choose between what is right and what is wrong. Yeah, and we're already in that form now as a human being, and you want to kill an animal? I don't want to come back as an animal and be killed. So frightening for them. Horrible. So you imagine the cat, you know, Balaji, your own cat? He's like so loving and so cuddly, and he sees you and he wants to cuddle you. And he loves being, you know, brought onto your chest. He really loves that. How can you kill that little person? Yeah, it's so cruel. And imagine killing a cow, which is the favorite pet of Kṛṣṇa. It's another living entity. Yeah, so we have to use our intelligence to discriminate what is correct. Yeah. So
everything in relation to Kṛṣṇa.
Yeah, so we should use everything, you know, our tongue to speak about Kṛṣṇa, to share about Kṛṣṇa, to sing the holy names.
Yeah, this is this idea here. The senses and mind require engagements. Simple abnegation is not practical.
Because the mind is just going to go nuts.
Yeah.
And then soon you will be eating meat.
Yeah, well, the prescription in here, it's like, well, you know, you do see the four regulative principles, you know. It's like no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. So no meat eating means no meat, fish, or eggs. And you take that as a vow, but you don't take a vow only eat Kṛṣṇa prasadam, which would automatically encompass that, right? So the vow you take is actually the abnegation rather than the positive engagement. But it's pretty much impossible for you to follow those vows unless you engage in the positive engagement. So simple abnegation is not practical. So there's kind of like two things, the pravriti and the nivritti marg, and they're both side by side. The nivritti is the negation and the pravritti is the positive engagement.
Mm-hmm.
For the people in general, especially those who are not in the renounced order of life, transcendental engagement of the senses and the mind, as described above, is the perfect process for transcendental achievement, which is called yukta in the Bhagavad-gita. I mean, we didn't tell people to not eat meat at Parliament, for example.
Mm.
We just gave them prasadam
Yeah, and vegetarian prasadam.
and chanting.
Yeah, and they
That's
were
it.
so happy with that.
Yeah.
They loved it. know.
It is the
Yeah.
nectar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's for the brahmanas as well.
Mm.
Brahmanas for that, and then not for necessarily for everyone.
Mm.
Okay, let's go back to that. What else do you want to say?
And we must engage our senses, and we should hold each other accountable for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Fact.
Like Kṛṣṇa is a friend of Arjuna, right? And he's telling him, don't do this. He explained that everything to him. So as a friend, couple, partner, husband and wife, that's what we meant to be doing.
Well, there's a couple of places actually in the Gita itself where Kṛṣṇa talks about sex life. The pravritti and the nivritti marg. There's the positive engagement, which is for begetting Kṛṣṇa conscious children. Kamosmi bharatarshava, Kṛṣṇa says. That was where I started in this purport. That in the Srila Prabhupada's purports, in a lot of places it's dealt with in the nivritti sense. But then there's the pravritti sense as well, which is obviously procreation, which is what it's for. Okay.
Imagine if people will be using sex as procreation only. There will be so many children way advanced.
Well, you know that the Western countries are in negative population growth. They're in decline. So that means there's not even replacement population. People are not even replacing the body that they got. You got a body and you should replace it.
With what though? With what?
With another one.
Yeah, that means you have to die.
No, that means you have to have 2 children.
I thought what you mean. But replace your body, like, huh?
Yeah, you have to have 2 children.
Yeah. Each? 4 children in total. Senor?
No. If each people have 2 children, because the thing is that if you have, if each person needs to have 2 children, but the thing is, if we had 2 children together, then we would each have 2 children, but they would be the same 2. Each child has 2 parents. So you can have 2 children. Yeah, you have 2 children. Each person has 2 children. And then you've replaced it.
You've
replaced your body.
We should hurry up then.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay, you do this.
Yadā viniyatam cittam ātmany evāvatiṣṭhate nispṛhaḥ sarva-kāmebhyo yukta ucyate tadā kāmebhyaḥ. Yeah. Translation.
When the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in devoid of all material desires, he is said to have attained yoga.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.
Oh my gosh, my neck.
Jai. Parambhajayate. Sri Kṛṣṇa Sankirtanam. Thanks for tuning in.
Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Total world victory of Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Yes, correct.